Louisville, Kentucky, 2005. Aiden looked out his bedroom window. Still nobody outside. It was past 11 p.m. now. They're not coming. Thank God. He turned back on his TV and dropped onto his bed. He was just starting to drift off to sleep when he heard the unmistakable sound of a car turning down the dirt road outside. Aiden got up and looked out his window again. The driver turned off his headlights and slowly rolled up to the house, coming to a stop at the end of his driveway. Fuck it. I guess we're doing this. He looked around the room, grabbed his backpack and a flashlight off of his desk, and slowly opened the bedroom window. The backpack hit the ground with a thud as he tossed it from the second story, then slipped out and climbed down. He jogged over to the car and hopped in the back seat. They hadn't even put the car in drive when Tim blurted out, "Thought you were gonna pussy out, bro." "Why are you even here?" Aiden fired back. "Can't stand this dude," he thought to himself. They turned off of Aiden's street, flicked the headlights back on, and sped up. Aiden looked to his left. All 5 of them were squeezed into this 4-door coupe. Lenny tossed a beer onto Aiden's lap. "Catch up, bro. You're like 3 behind." He cracked the beer and looked down at it. "It's warm," he muttered to himself. They turned onto Parley Drive and started to make their way up the long, windy road. It was a warm night in Kentucky, but a thick fog covered the area. Dan turned off the headlights again and rolled a few more feet before pulling the car off the road, putting the car in park. "Where is this place?" Lenny asked. "It's up the hill, but there's security, so we'll have to go on foot from here." Aiden hopped out of the car and tossed his half-empty beer into the woods. Everyone followed and looked up the hill. They could just barely make out the outline of the massive structure, even from down the hill. "There it is. Pop the trunk," Tim whispered to Dan. He made his way around to the back of the car and pulled out an axe, swinging it up onto his shoulder. "The fuck is that for, you psychopath?" "In case we can't get in. Or if we can't get out." Everyone chuckled nervously, and they turned to make their way up the hill. They stuck to the windy road mostly, until they were almost at the gate. They took a right, ducking into the woods. Lenny stumbled over a stick and flicked on his flashlight. "Turn that shit off before you get us caught," Dan whispered back at him sharply. "I can't see anything, bro. We're right here. Let's just hop the fence and book it." There was no sign of security guards in sight, so they did just that. All 5 of them hopped the fence and ran full speed towards the giant building. Jack stumbled, smashing his flashlight on the ground, batteries scattering in different directions. "Leave it. Come on, let's go." They lined up under the massive arches of the main entrance, looking for a way in. All of a sudden, crash! Tim had put the handle of his axe through a window and cleared out the broken pieces before jumping through. "Let's go, boys." Everyone scurried through the busted window. Aiden looked up at the building one more time before following his friends. He could just barely make out the letters on the sign above him. Waverly Hills Sanatorium. He hopped through the window, clicked on his flashlight, and began to make his way down the hall. The building was certainly in rough shape. Graffiti lined the walls. There was debris, trash, and puddles on the floor. It felt about 20 degrees colder than it was outside. Aiden aimed his flashlight down the hall. What is that? At the end of the hallway, a dark shadow had slowly moved around a corner, disappearing into one of the patient's rooms. "Did you see that?" Aiden turned around and realized he was talking to nobody. He must have made their way upstairs, he thought to himself. He continued down the hallway, picking up the pace a little bit. He could hear footsteps above him now, and figured that the group was moving on without him. "Guys, wait up!" he called out as he ran up the staircase. Aiden shined his flashlight down the hall but didn't see anyone. Where the hell are these idiots? "Dude, where are you going?" Aiden turned around at the bottom of the stairs. All 4 of his friends were standing there looking at him. "Come on, we found something," Lenny said. Aiden turned around and took one last look down the hallway. Who had he just heard moving around up there? "Yeah, let's go." He made his way back down with the group. They turned down another hallway and up to an old rusty door with the number 4 above it. "I thought we were looking for room 502. Isn't that supposed to be the haunted room?" Dan looked back at him as he pushed open the old metal door. "This whole place is haunted. There was like thousands of people who died here." They all stood in the middle of the dark room. They shined their flashlights around, spotting an old hospital gurney and a wheelchair in the corner of the room. "What's so special about this room?" Just then, all 5 of their flashlights flickered and died. They looked at each other but didn't have a chance to say anything when, bam, the metal door slammed shut. "What the fuck, dude?" Jack ran over to the door and tried to open it back up. "Open it," yelled Lenny. "I can't, it's stuck." "That's impossible," Aiden whispered under his breath as he made his way over to the door. He lunged forward, plunging his shoulder into the metal door, but it didn't budge. Aiden turned around. "Give me a hand, everyone push." But Jack was just standing straight up, staring into the corner of the room. "What are you doing? Help us out." Jack said nothing, just continued to stare into the right corner of the room. "What are you staring at?" Jack raised his arm and pointed at the corner. But his focus snapped and shifted to the left corner. 2 black shadows filled the corners of each room. But then, the shadows began to close in. What the fuck is that? All 5 of them were in the middle of the room now. They turned towards the door, but stumbled backwards. 2 more shadow figures were closing in from the other side. There was nowhere to go. A stench filled the air, and they could see their breath. It was freezing. Aiden's ears started to ring, a piercing noise that grew louder and louder. Tim picked up his axe and swung it at one of the shadow figures, but went right through him and tumbled to the ground. "Give me that," Aiden yelled. Tim slid the axe across the floor to him. Aiden grabbed the axe and ran for the door. "Back up." He swung it at the side of the door frame over and over. The ringing of metal on metal echoed through the sanatorium. The shadows continued to close in, and all 5 of them were screaming now. "Hurry up!" Jack yelled, as Aiden continued to chop at the door. All of a sudden, there was a bang in the hallway. Everything stopped. They looked around the room. The shadows were gone. "Who's in there? What's going on?" A voice came from the hallway. "We're locked in here. Help us get out," Lenny cried. "Locked?" the voice said. And then they heard him chuckle a bit. The door crept open, and a flashlight shined through. Everyone let out a sigh of relief. "Yeah, a lot easier when you have a key," Tim said to the security guard as he picked up his axe and shouldered his way through the group, making his way out of the room. The security guard looked him up and down. "I don't need a key. This door has never had a lock on it." I'm Jesse Wilkins, and this is Hometown Ghost Stories, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Louisville, Kentucky.